As you can see, we are using the Razorleaf here, and also the gameplay settings are on extreme for piloting, and we are going to go ahead and take down this Va'runn Shroudbearer. The best tactic I found for taking down the Va'runn Shroudbearer is using your missile systems to hit the Shroudbearer from way far off. Even though I can't get a missile lock, the missiles will still travel and they'll still connect as long as your aim is accurate. And as you can see, those aren't the normal missiles. I'll get into how to upgrade this ship while maintaining the complete entire look of the base model. Because the base model is going to be positively impossible to do this on extreme. But the crucial point of this fight is separating this escort from the legendary ship itself. And we can do that because of the speed differences. That M-class ship moves very, very slowly, whereas these A, B, and C class ships and the escort will move at like twice the speed. So engaging off in that distance allows us to engage the escort before we get into range of the guns of the M-class ship. So the goal here is take out as many of the escort ships as possible, and when that M-class ship starts shooting at us, we want to just bugger away from it as quick as possible. And then once the escort's done, we're going to take on a different tactic while taking down this M-class ship. Even though I do have this Razorleaf souped up beyond belief for this fight, even on extreme, this is very difficult, and I had to do several attempts at this because this M-class ship can destroy my shields and my hull within a matter of seconds of taking direct fire. So the main objective with this is I am going to basically just fly past, use my thrusters to flip around really quickly, and then take as many shots while flanking the ship as possible. It has a lot less guns on its flank than it does on its front, so you'll take a lot less damage. And then just basically load it up with missiles. So this ship is not perfectly designed for this kind of fight. I designed this ship more for stealing other ships, but I was still able to take down the Va'runn Shroudbearer with it. So we're using lasers as the primary weapon, which are very good for taking down ships like this, and missiles as the secondary weapon, and I do have an EM weapon as the tertiary weapon, so it's not really optimally designed for this. But you could easily design a ship for these kind of encounters. But let's get into the actual build of this ship. So I am using Darkstar Astrodynamics to build this ship and maintain the appearance, because the Darkstar Astrodynamics mod does allow you to do that. So if you do download this and build the Darkstar terminal, you'll just go to the little section that has the ship builder, and you'll find all the parts in there. Now I'm playing this at 3 times speed to kind of speed up this process real quick, but I'm going to replace the reactor, the grav drive, the shield, and all the guns. That's all that's necessary to bring it up to speed for fights. You can also upgrade the cargo and the cargo, and probably the cockpit and the thrusters if you want to. Not really necessary. I find the easiest way to do this if I'm trying to maintain the look of a ship is I will pull the part off that I'm replacing, find the model I want, and then I will use the D-pad to tab over until I find the exact skin for that, and then I will go ahead and I will place it back. So with this Darkstar Astrodynamics, if you're looking at that little alphanumeric code within the part, if it begins with M, that is for pre-NG+, like if you're not doing NG+, and the X is for players that are doing NG+. So I'm choosing a lot of the X parts here to upgrade this, but I'm going to go ahead upgrade the engines as well because it gives you a lot more maneuverability. And as you can see, this is a relatively easy process. You kind of just find the skin you want, pick the model you want of engine, gun, shield, whatever it might be, and then just go ahead and tab over to the appropriate skin. And this will give us 4,000 shield, which is a lot higher than the base. I think the base was like only 350, which is rather weak. And that's kind of why I say it would be next to impossible to take down the Va'runn Shroudbearer on extreme with the actual base model of the ship. Just because if you take any kind of fire, you're going to be taking hull damage. It's going to completely blast through your shield. The amount of damage that ship does dish out, and it has very good coverage on all sides, including the rear. There's still some coverage points on the rear. But as we get into this here, if you're doing this, my philosophy with ship combat is I typically have two different types of ships I fly. I have one that I would call like a destroyer, and then another which is basically designed to capture other ships. So this, when I was originally planning it out several weeks ago, was designed to capture other ships. So I have EM weapons instead of like a ballistic weapon. I would probably, if I was planning to take on like legendary ships with this, I would probably be using a ballistic turret of some sort, or maybe a particle turret of some sort to take them on. I think particle weapons, it's kind of like easy mode when you use them, so I do kind of handicap myself a little bit and refrain from putting all particle weapons on my ship itself. But I went ahead, I did upgrade the missiles. Now those missiles are basically the starborn missiles, so what they'll do is when they make contact with a ship, they'll disable it temporarily. And this can also disable your ship if you're using at an extreme close range. So I would have a little bit of caution with that. Don't be like right next to someone using those starborn missiles, but they are extremely useful in fights, especially when you're outnumbered, because it can provide a lot of crowd control effects on enemy ships where you can disable them temporarily and kind of scoot away real quick. But as we're almost wrapping this up here and just applying the last couple weapons. So this is a very easy process. If you wanted to have one of the ships in the base game and then just absolutely gear it out without destroying how it appears, this is how you would do it. But also you can basically build whatever ship you want and have it look however you want it to, and you know, maintain those appearances. So you can have the Razorleaf. So to take out the this is basically a bad attempt at me taking out the Va'runn Shroudbearer. I successfully take out the escort, but at the end, when I take on the Shroudbearer itself, I do make a fatal error that results in my death rather quickly. So what we're going to do here is we're going to take out this escort again. And this was one of the earlier attempts I took at it, and I just want to highlight the importance of, you know, staying away from the guns of the Va'runn Shroudbearer, because you'll see at the end I get absolutely decimated. But we're going to take a quick evac after getting that first ship out of the way, just to kind of stay out of the range of the guns. And as you can see, those starborn missiles, they stop them right in place. So if you get a good connect on those, it's probably a rather good idea to kind of like hit on the brakes so you can kind of finish them off, or else you'll overtake them rather quickly. But with those guys out of the way, we are gonna fly away a little bit here and then do a run on the Shroudbearer itself. So we can see it right there. We're in kind of range of its guns. It can't really get a clear hit at us, but here we can see the underbelly of the ship. This right here, I thought I was good. And this ship, the Shroudbearer itself, even though it is rather slow, it can pivot rather quickly, and it's got guns on a lot of different surfaces. So you might think you are okay, and it will pivot slightly, and all its guns will be lined up with you, and you will die immediately.